Hello, welcome to Yin Yoga. And today we are going to start standing. So we're going to start a little bit different. We're going to come into a half frog variation and we're going to build up to that so we can prepare very well for our hips, knees, and the quads and everything that we need to be ordered to do that. So that being said, blocks, we're going to come to a dangle in a moment. So if you need to put your hands on something, you can do that. Otherwise, we may not need them. Folded blankets, bolster, cushion, pillows are all great options for today. So to get started, good. Just kind of sink. I shouldn't say sink, sway. Sway is the right S word. Sway from side to side for a moment. And then maybe start to take that into some circles. Good. And then from here, just go from side to side. Let the arms do what they do. Let the hips and knees move as they need to. Good. And then when you're ready, good. I'm going to keep my feet a little bit wider now. Good. And I'm just going to rotate towards my left, nodding the chin. I'm just going to kind of come down. Let the knees bend if you need to, rolling through center. Coming back up, rolling the shoulders up, and then we'll do that to the other side. Good. Now, if that felt good to you with the legs a little bit wider, stay there. Otherwise, you can take them in a little bit closer. Good. And we'll do that again. Taking it to the left, nodding the chin, and taking it down, moving through. Coming all the way up, and we'll reverse that. Good. Big inhale and reach. Exhale, get a side bend to the left. Press to that right side. Moving through center, take it to the other side. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, we're going to come to some standing cat-cows. So I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see better. I'm going to kind of sit back into a chair here. Hands can be right on the thighs. Inhale, heart forward, tipping the pelvis back. Exhale, round into cat. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, round, press all the way through. Let's take our arms up, looking up, touching palms together. Exhale, hands in the heart center. Creating an intention for this practice. What would you like to give or receive? Maybe you'd like to dedicate this to someone or something. So my theme today is forgiveness, self-forgiveness for the most part, but you can come up with anything you want. And once you have that set, we'll reach and grow taller from crown to tail as we bring those arms down. So coming into a dangle position here again, you can bring blocks in here if you need that. If you don't need them, no worries. But from here, I'm going to take my feet about hip width apart. It could also be slightly wider. My belly button is in. Good. And I'm going to let my knees bend a little bit here as I come in. I don't want to let the belly go here. Okay. So you've got blocks. If you're using those, you can be the highest setting, the medium setting, and the lowest setting. Maybe you don't need them and you can just come down here. Some people will grab opposite elbows and just hang. Keeping a bend in the knees. We'll be here for a couple minutes. Let the head and neck be free. Breathe and expand. So going into the theme of more self-forgiveness here, how about I am worthy of forgiveness? Say to yourself, I am worthy of forgiveness. Now, as we're here, if it would feel good to you to shake the head yes, shake the head no, you can take that. If it feels good just to leave it right where it is, then leave it right where it is. Yeah. And then from here, when you're ready, pressing through the feet, keeping a little bend in the knees, just walk your hands back up, come back to standing and rolling shoulders back. Now we're going to make our way to the floor. So I'm just going to nod the chin. I'm going to let the knees bend as I come down here. Good. And then as I come down, I'm going to set myself up for a nice child's pose. So knees can be together as wide as the mat or somewhere in between. You can take your arms long in front of you, or you can take your hands back by the ankles. Good. You can have a folded blanket or something under the forehead, or it can come to the floor. We'll be here for a couple minutes. Good. And forgiveness is a gift I give myself. Forgiveness is a gift I give myself. And from here, carefully take hands under the shoulders and we'll come up. Good. We're going to come into a full butterfly here. So for this one, I'm going to bring a folded blanket in to sit on. And then remember on this one that we don't want to start at our widest possible, which for me is here. So I'm just going to come in just a little bit here, just so that my body has room to move as it settles in. And then I'm going to come to an anterior tilt of the pelvis as well. So I'm going to rock my pelvis forward. So hip bones are going to come forward, tailbone's going to go back. If you are really tight in the backside and you need to support underneath your knees to keep them bent, put something under there so you don't have to think about keeping them bent. And then when we're ready, we're going to do this one for 3 minutes. So I'm going to fix timer. Good. Big inhale and reach, long spine. Exhale, come forward. Right before your limit, take your arms down and we'll start to settle in from here. Toes, knees, and hips face the ceiling. As you breathe here and come into the pose, your body will drop you down a little bit deeper, but only do that if it's safe for you. And so I can forgive myself. Forgiveness is a gift I give myself. Knowingly, unknowingly, on purpose, by accident, what have you, all of us in this life have hurt somebody at some point. So maybe I forgive myself for the hurt I've caused. I forgive myself for the hurt that I've caused. If you can forgive yourself, you can let go of guilt. Remember, long spine here, no C curving the spine. Fine length. You can always bring a bolster or something in underneath your trunk here if you need support. Good. And from here, carefully come out of there. Good. And I'm just going to take my peace fingers behind my knees and just kind of bring them in. Good. A little bit crisscross applesauce. And I'm just going to go to one side and to the other side. All right. So here's our big prep for half frog variation that we're going to do. So this is a deer pose variation. So if you're familiar with reformer, and I do recommend sitting up on a folded blanket or two if you tend to be a little bit tighter around the knees and the hips. If you're familiar with Pilates reformer and the Pilates Z that we sit in sometimes, then this is pretty much just like that. So this is my left leg here. So if from a reformer perspective, think about that shin is the one that's being up against the shoulder rest here, and your right leg is in front. So to give you a side view of that, good, it'll look like this. Good. And then your right leg is in front. Okay. Now I'm going to sit up here on this folded blanket because that makes me feel better. Good. And then we're going to add a twisty onto this as well. So sitting nice and tall, we're going to twist towards the left, looking behind you, relaxing the shoulders. So I can forgive myself. Forgiveness is a gift I give myself. Think about, I forgive myself for the hurt I've caused others. Self-compassion helps me learn and grow. Self-compassion allows us to forgive ourselves. If this becomes too much, come out of there, come into crisscross applesauce. And we'll come back center. Good. Counter stretch to the other side. And we'll take that back down. Now, carefully, because you've been here for a little bit, so this might be a little bit vulnerable here. Take both legs forward, kind of shake them out a little bit, maybe rub, rub, rub. Okay. And then if it would feel good to you, just kind of bend the knees, take your hands behind, and go into a little windshield wiper. And then when you're ready, we're going to take that onto the other side. So now we're just going to reverse that. I'm going to take my right leg now back behind. My left leg is now in front. Good. Readjust your folded blanket that you're sitting on, cushion or what have you, as you need to. So if you've got a little knee issue, the higher you sit, the more comfortable you might be. And then from here, when you're ready, good. We'll take that twist now to the right, rolling shoulders back, looking behind you. Where I am worthy of forgiveness. Remember, no cranking as you twist. Yes. And we'll carefully come out of that rotation. Good. Counter rotate to the other side. Good. And coming back to center. Again, carefully release out of there. Take those legs long in front of you. Good. You can kind of do a little bouncy bounce. You can do a rub. You can do that windshield wiper. So now we're going to come into that half frog variation. And I'm going to show this to you from two different angles, from the front and from the side. For this one, I'm going to recommend most people start this one on 2 blankets. So I'm actually going to come up a little bit. Now, if you don't have 2 blankets, you can fold one blanket more like this. That'll kind of give you a double layer. You can sit up on a bolster if you need to do that. Fix yourself how you need to fix yourself. And knee issue people will definitely want to be seated up a little bit higher. So this is very similar to get into when we do half saddle. So for example, just to kind of show half saddle, I've got one leg forward. I've got this knee back here. Yeah. Same thing, except instead of having your outstretched leg forward, it's going to be out to the side. Okay. So kind of like a half butterfly almost, it's going to be to the side. And then you decide if you want to be up here or if at some point you want to fold forward. Okay. And you'll keep a long spine if you're going to do that. So That's a half frog variation that we're going to do today. So to show you that from the front, good. So I'm going to have left leg out. Good. Here's kind of a half butterfly to give you another different perspective here. Now I'm just going to take that in the other direction. Good. Kind of think about too maybe that deer pose that we did. So you're taking this and that same rotation, that same movement that we did in deer pose. Good. Now from here, we're going to try this for 3 minutes. If you need to come out before you do so, I recommend sitting upright for a while before deciding to fold, just to make sure everything is okay in here. And just like we do in half saddle, if you know, feel good to just kind of rub around here, and it's okay to do that. Yeah. All right. So self-compassion encourages me to learn and grow. I am worthy of forgiveness. I can forgive myself for the hurt I've caused. Forgiveness is a gift I give myself. Another way to say that is I accept my shortcomings and forgive myself. We all have shortcomings because we're human. Good. Now, you can stay up here or with a long spine, you can start to hinge forward a little bit. Again, be kind to yourself. Everything needs to feel okay in the knees, the hips, on both sides here. Now notice too, as you open up, some people, if you're taking the fold, will want to fold in deeper, and that's fine as long as everything's okay. This knee and leg wants to open more to the side. And as long as that feels okay, I'm going to let it just slightly move over in that direction. So awkward is okay, painfully awkward, never okay. And when I say awkward, I mean stretchy awkward. I don't mean tweaky awkward, or I might hurt myself if I stay here any longer awkward. And then from here, when you're ready, just like in half saddle, we carefully come out of here. We never just jerk. So I'm just going to kind of lean over to my left. I'm going to carefully release that right leg. I'm going to take it forward. Good. And then again, you can rub, rub, rub. Just kind of notice how you feel. For whatever reason, my right leg now feels longer, a little bit longer than my left leg. So we'll take that to the other side. So if you need to adjust your prop, some of you might need to be higher or lower, or you might be just right. Do that, sides are different. So I'm gonna take my right leg out to the corner now, and I'm going to bend that left knee, and I need to scoot just a little bit more this way. Good. So you wanna kind of situate yourself to where your foot or your leg's not gonna get caught up in your folded blankets, but whenever you're ready, good. We'll start our 3 minutes from right here. Good, and again, if you need to, want to, rub a little bit, you can. So maybe another affirmation here kind of goes on what I said about shortcomings. I accept I am human and make mistakes. I accept I am human and make mistakes. Making mistakes is part of the human experience. We all do it. And then from here, you decide, do you want to stay up? Do you want to fold in a little bit? Your belly button is in on that hinge. We don't want to let the organs and everything just collapse. Maybe just like the other side, maybe, your knees telling you it's okay to come out a little bit wider now and you can do that. Maybe not. Now, I have a tendency to grip at my hips here too. So if you feel yourself doing that, just relax through there. Breathe and expand. When you're ready, we'll carefully come up. If you fold it in, good. We're going to carefully come out of here. Good. And let everything just kind of be rubbed, wiggle around. Good. All right. We're going to come belly down. Good job with those half frog variations. So for some of you, I'm just going to move these out of the way. Some of you, when we do belly down extension on the back, like that little support, I'm going to take that support today. I don't need it every day, but today I'm going to take it. Good. So if you're going to use the support like I'm going to use here, you want to take the hip bones right to the edge of the folded blanket. And then when you're ready, good, we'll come down here. We're going to come into a Sphinx pose here. So I'm going to make sure my legs are about hip width apart. And I'm just going to do a little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle here just because that feels good. Good. Now I'm going to take my elbows a little bit more forward. Palms are going to be down. Belly button is in. I'm going to press the elbows and the forearms into the floor. Good. So I'm strong in the shoulders. Now I'm going to shine that heart forward. Belly button is in. Good. Nope. Just a couple minutes here. How about I can forgive myself, because if I can forgive myself, I can forgive others. Remember, forgetting and forgiving are not the same thing, two very different things. You don't have to forget what happened to you. You probably won't forget what happened to you, but you can forgive them so that you can move on for your own healing. So I'm catching myself wanting to kind of droop here. Press back into those forearms and elbows if you can. Belly button is still in. Relax the face. Good. And when you're ready, we'll lower that down. Make a recovery pillow with your hands and just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle here for a moment. Now, if you are someone whose back would do even better pressing back into a child's pose, press back into a child's pose. And then when we're ready, and only when you're ready, good. We're going to come up and we're going to transition onto our back. Now I'm rolling over here so I can move my blanket out of the way. We'll come onto our back. And we're going to come to a supine twist here. I need to move a lot of things out of the way. There. So for this supine twist, we're going to keep this one pretty basic today. So rolling the shoulders back in their pockets. Let's take the knees into the chest. Arms maybe a little bit to the side. Good. We're going to let those knees come all the way over to the right, maybe looking to the left. And breathe and expand here. Again, as we talk about that self-forgiveness, be mindful that self-criticism and self-punishment do not help you learn and be your best self. So self-criticism and self-punishment do not help me learn to be my best self. And then from here, when you're ready, head returns back to center. Be gentle, one leg at a time comes back in, and we'll wiggle, wiggle, wiggle here. Just letting things reset. And when you're ready, we're going to take that to the other side. So starting center, we'll let those knees come over to the left and maybe looking to the right. Remembering forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. You are worthy of it. And then from here, when you're ready, head back to center. One leg at a time comes back to center. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle side to side. Maybe taking hands to the knees and making some little circles here. And in the other direction. Good. And we're going to come into Shavasana from here. So set yourself up for a good one. So I'm going to grab my bolster here and place underneath my thighs. And then I'm going to grab one of my folded blankets and place underneath my head here, a little bit of a pillow. Good. And then once you get where you're going, see if you can make yourself about 10% more comfortable. Good. Now I'm going to take my other blanket now that I'm here. Good. And I'm just going to place that right across my lap here. So that's very grounding to have just a little bit of weight here. So I'm going to be right here. Good. I'm making myself 10% more comfortable. And then I'm going to leave you with one more final thought. In light of everything else about forgiveness I've given you to think about, today I start fresh. Today I start fresh. Begin to take some deep breaths here. Choose stillness or gently take head and neck from side to side. Choose stillness or maybe move fingers and toes. Choose stillness or moving a belly prop if you took one, taking knees into the chest, choosing to keep the upper body lowered or maybe lifted. And choosing stillness or moving any other remaining props out of the way. Taking legs long in front of you, arms long behind you, and reach and lengthen from the edge of the fingertips, the edge of the toes, full body stretch, point and flex through the feet, bend and stretch through the hands, twirling wrists and ankles in one direction, and then in the other. And then from here, whenever you're ready, bending in both knees, and you choose rolling over onto the right or left side, the side that works best for your body in this moment. Taking all the time that you need here, and when you're ready, pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat where we normally begin this practice. Finding a nice tall spine, noticing how you feel. Palms up, inhale and reach up, touching the palms together, exhale, hands and heart center. Coming back to that intention, the one you chose, or self-forgiveness, the one I gave you, one more time. And we'll take thumbs to the forehead for good and true thoughts. To our lips for good and kind words. And to our hearts for open and loving hearts. Knowing no effort on this mat is ever wasted. No gain is ever reversed. May you be safe. May you stay well. May you learn to forgive yourself so you may forgive others. Namaste.